fast forward, we actually won the bid. It was like $1,400,000 was the job. We did the job. Everything went perfect. We're still servicing the elevator. And that was probably at least 7 years ago. People are like, I've been here 3 months and I haven't gotten a lead. Listen, it takes a little bit. You got to put in, you got to give back. You have to stay the course. I do not see turnover in the execs at all. My job has always been kind of telling people the news they don't want to hear. And the best way I feel to do that is do it right away.
This is Joe Applebaum, and I have the pleasure of interviewing the wonderful Don Gelestino from Champion Elevator. Don, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Don, we met as part of the Executives Association of New York City, and I just want you to kind of tell everyone a little bit about your business, your role, the kind of clients that you work with. Can you share with everyone a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Don Gelestino, obviously, and I'm 38 years in the elevator business. We service anything from a 2-stop dumbwaiter to a 70-stop Class A building in the city. And I'm the founder and current chairman of the board, past president, past CEO. The company's 10 years in business, and we're servicing just around 6,000 elevators right now. So we do a lot of heavy lifting, like they say in the business.
That's really funny. Heavy lifting, elevators, bringing people up and down. So who would you say is your ideal client, and how do you typically add value to them? Yeah,
so for us, anyone that has any elevator or escalator, building manager or facility engineer is our perfect client. We add value because of the team that we have, the knowledge base that we've kind of cultivated and brought into our company. And one of our strong points is that we send out amazing surveyors to go out and look at the equipment before we take it on service. And therefore we give our company a real oversight of what is the equipment and what condition is the equipment in. And we also share that with the ownership. And sometimes, the owners, it might not be what they want to hear or see. So they'll maybe not become a client. And then the other time when they want to take care of situations and, keep safety and energy efficiency and a lot of factors at the front of their game, those are the right clients for us.
Okay, so people who really they care about safety, care about efficiency. They're not just looking to milk the building for as much as possible, but they really care about a high quality experience for the people in the building to make sure that elevators are never down. That's could be a very big problem, especially with big built buildings.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So, it isn't, there are thousands of different flavors of owners. I say they're like spices, right? There's 1,000 different ones. And, we are basically some kind of an ingredient that they're going to use in their building. And not every flavor is for everyone. But if you're looking for a good, solid, safe service provider, that's what we focus on. And it's a very hard game. There's a lot of ways companies could cut corners, cheaper products, cheaper material, cheaper labor. We put all of our ingredients the best. We have the best insurance covers. We have the best troubleshooters. We use the best tools. We don't cut any corners. And you know what? At the end of the day, it costs a little bit more for the service, but service we provide, I like to say, is second to none.
I love that. Speaking about spices, can you share something personal about yourself, a hobby, a passion, maybe something to help people connect with you personally on a deeper level?
Yeah. So the good thing or the great thing in my life right now is we have a 2.5-year-old granddaughter, which is amazing. And my daughter is pregnant with, it's going to be my grandson in November. So that is very interesting and very top of mind. One of my other passions is obviously music. A lot of people that know me know I love to write songs. I play some guitar. I used to be a bass player back when I was probably 30 years ago or more. So I love music. I love all types of music. I could listen to any genre, anything, and I love it all. So, that's what I like to do. I have a cabin upstate New York, which I love. And I'm at my beach house right now doing this interview. So I try to mix it up, stay local, very passionate about a lot of philanthropic endeavors. I've been an honoree for probably more than 15 different 501c3s. I'm on a couple of boards, and I'm always trying to give back and help other people. So those are like my passions in a nutshell.
I love that. I love how much you love helping people, how you love music, and how you love families always first for you.
Yeah.
Can you share how you first heard of the Executives Association of New York City and what made you decide to join?
Yeah, so it was kind of funny. I remember I was with Joe Capone, Total Fire Protection, and he said to me, "Hey, you got to come down and join this association." And I walked in the door, and Matt Schwartzberg, I'm a Rockville Center guy. Matt's from Rockville Center, and then Ross Adler's Rockville Center. I knew him from local, and then Mark Matthews was doing my shirts and apparel for 20 years at that point, because I had another company and some other businesses that I always used him for. So I walked in the room, and it was like at least 7 or 8 people I knew. So it made you just feel very at home. So then I got to learn about the association, learn and meet some of the new members that new to me, but were with the group. And I thought it was going to be an amazing fit. But the funniest thing that actually happened was at the end of the first meeting, everybody stands up and they say, "Oh, is there anyone that wants to meet someone in the room?" And Adam Stein stood up and said, "Yeah, I want to meet the elevator guy." And I was like, "Oh, wow, someone wants to meet me, And he said that he was in a building that was a co-op, and they were just putting the elevator modernization out to bid. He goes, "I'll put you on the bid list." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I just met this guy in 1 minute. And fast forward, we actually won the bid. It was like $1.4 million was the job. We did the job. Everything went perfect. We're still servicing the elevator. And that was probably at least 7 years ago. So these are the kind of things that the execs do for each other. And I think I got very lucky. Not everyone's going to walk into the execs and know 6 or 7 people. Not everyone's going to get a lead like that the first day. But I will say the relationships that you make are unbelievable. And I'll tell you, not even like right away, I'm the elevator guy, so everyone's going to be looking for elevator leads. But funny enough, during COVID, I bought a building in Manhattan, and we literally used for the whole building exec members, from the architect to the electrical to the paint on the walls, the wallpaper, the fixtures. Everybody that I used for that project was an exec member. So it's not only about the elevator relationship, it's about other personal relationships.
I love that. I love hearing that story where 7 figures, 7 people, 7 years ago. 777, baby. We're lucky.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good time to do this interview.
Wow. I love that. So you've been a member and your experience has been fantastic. It looks like you really helped use the association to get business, use the association to give business, build friendships, and really have gone deep with people. Was there a specific financial opportunity that happened after this opportunity with 7 figures on the first day? Was there something that happened to you related to Co-op City or related to any of the other deals that you've gotten that you had another financial success from the association?
Yeah, there's constantly things going on. Just lots of little things every day. But I'll tell you one of the things, I remember, I think me, Jesse, and some of the people from Parkchester went out, and, just very casual, not like, not in a solicitation type way. I'm not like trying to hawk them for elevator services and them, anything, just kind of like, hey, friends, you guys all want to go meet up for dinner or something. Funny enough, a few years later, I ended up bidding on Parkchester, which has 220 elevators. And I think that Jesse Berland from Safety Facility Services made an introduction to me years back. So that's where we knew each other from. It made it a little more warm, more fuzzy, comfortable during the bid interview process. And we landed that job, which is a very big job, 220 elevators. elevators, one complex.
Wow. So think about it. If you're trying to get big customers, if you're trying to get in the door, you also want friendships. This is the organization for you if that's what you're looking for. So really powerful. How would you describe Executives Association in one sentence to, let's say, a peer? Let's say you're talking to a plumber or some CEO that owns a company, they have 100 employees. How would you describe EANYC in one sentence?
I would just say that it's a group of like-minded professionals, all, marching to the beat of the same drum.
Love that.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the most, besides the business that you got from it, because obviously you've generated a lot of business from the Executives Association, what would you say is the most valuable part of EANYC for you?
I think it's some of the relationships that have become, just become things that I would never even imagine. Like, I'll give you an example, like Bobby Hotel and the insurance guy. The first time I seen him, he came into an execs meeting. We're all wearing suits. It was at the Harvard Club, and he was wearing a green jacket and he had an earpiece in. And I my first impression was like, who the heck is this guy? He looks kind of odd to me, right? I didn't think I would hit it off with him. Sure enough, he asked me to, hey, can I get a shot at your insurance? And I kind of was like, nobody could get better rates for insurance. And sure enough, he was able to come in and save us a ton of money. Not only did he do that, he serviced the account incredible, from claims management and everything. And then we've grown into a relationship where, I've been to his house, he's been to my house, we've been out with the wives, and he does my personal insurance now. So it's like, there's the business side of it, but then there's the personal side. And that same thing's happened with a few people in the exec. So I'm very, very thankful. Like Jocelyn Nager, I've known her for so many years, and she's like more than just a lawyer to me, a very good friend, So, even like yourself, look, you've been up to my cabin playing guitar around the campfire, right?
and I'm coming next week to your house to hang out with the family and do the pool party, which I did last year, and I'm going to do this year. So congratulations.
See, that's what it's all about. That's the good stuff, because listen, our careers and our lives shift all the time, but it's like the friends that you have and you make and stuff like that lasts a lifetime, right?
That's everything. Being there for each other is everything. What would you say to somebody who was an executive that was thinking about joining the Executives Association? What would you say to that business owner when they were considering EANYC?
I would say first and foremost, if your spot is actually open, you have to try to grab the opportunity because, we're only one, per trade. So when a spot is open, it's a my opinion is it's a golden opportunity. And you have to be a little patient. You can't oversell, and you have to you have to stay the course. People come into associations, not the execs, but I've seen plenty and I've been in a lot of groups. People are like, I've been here 3 months and I haven't gotten a lead. Listen, it takes a little bit. You got to put in, you got to give back, but you have to stay the course. And I do not see turnover in the execs at all, where other groups are turning over constantly. You have to have the wherewithal to just stay the course and you'll realize what a great group it is.
I've seen some people that their parents were in it, their grandparents were in it, their great-grandparents were in it, their great-great-grandparents were in the Executives Association. They've been in for generations because once you build that type of trust, then that trust is unshakable. So having dozens and dozens of people like that, I see you as more than just a client of mine or a vendor of mine. I see you as a person that I really trust. If I need something, I can call you and you'll answer the phone, pick up, and we'll be able to have a conversation about whatever it is in my life going on.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful thing to have dozens of people that you can do that with. And I've been part of the association for 12 years now. So my life has really changed from that. And I love every time I see you, I just love gravitating towards you, and you dress so well and you're so with the program. One of the things that's interesting, I watched you do 2 spotlights for the association over the past decade, and both of them were exquisite. You're an amazing speaker and you speak from the heart and you're incredible. And one of the things that really stood out to me that I wanted to bring into this interview is how you started. Like in the beginning, you were literally like almost like homeless. You know, like you went from a place that did not have any, you didn't have a house, you didn't have anything. And now you're in a beach house and you have a cabin upstate and you have a beautiful house in Rockville Center and a beautiful family and a beautiful business. And you're very successful with thousands and thousands and thousands of clients. Like, can you just kind of give people a little insight onto where you were before you started your business and how you got here briefly?
Yeah, well, it is. Listen, there was a point, and you definitely hit the nail on the head, where I was sleeping in people's cars, like not people I knew either. I would literally walk down the road and grab a door handle, and if I opened the door and an alarm didn't go off, that's where I was sleeping that night, or at a park. Listen, I was a crazy teenager. I lived in Maine. I hitched a ride back to New York. I was going to be this rock and roll bass player. I didn't really know what that all was about. I just knew I could play bass. So I started knocking on doors of bars to, ask if they needed a bass player, 17 and a half, 18 years old. You don't really know much. So, that was what I was doing until I actually ended up sleeping on the couch of two guys. They let me stay there for a couple of months. And one morning, one of them woke me up and said, "Hey, you have to come to work with us. You've been here for 3 months. You haven't paid any rent, and we need a helper." And I said, "What do you guys even do?" Like, they were two big Irish guys. I'm still friends with them today. And they said, "Our father owns an elevator company." And I said, "Well, if this guy's waking me up, telling me I better come to work with him, I guess it's time to go to work, right?" So I went with him. I loved it. I was in awe that I could even be in an elevator machine room, right? Like, the day before that, I didn't even know if an elevator was the stairs that moved or went up and down. I didn't even know. So there I was, and I was always a handy kid. I built my own bicycles and clubhouses. So, it was kind of like, I just said to them, "If you ever need me again, you know where I'll be, probably on the couch." So lo and behold, literally from that day till now, I've been in the elevator business with no, breaks in between, and it's been a great business. But the reality is, the way I've really got here is real-time, honest, transparent communication. Mostly my clients and people never call me to say, "Don, I just had to call you today because the elevator's running great." I don't think that's ever happened in 38 years. What does happen every day are people with problems. I'm in I got my nursing home has 2 elevators down. I got people for dialysis. Nothing's happening. Like, it's always a crisis. It's always an emergency. And people want to hear, "No problem, we'll be right there and the part's on the shelf." Never happens. It's literally, I'll be there in a half hour. We find a part has to be, you never know, it could be a printed circuit board, it could be a pump. It's always something that needs, it's never snap your fingers, right? So my job has always been kind of telling people the news they don't want to hear. And the best way I feel to do that is do it right away, honest, transparent. Don't tell them, "Oh yeah, the part's, it's being shipped," when it isn't left the dock. Because what if the guy just rolled over the part with a forklift and never got on a truck? Don't give any stories. Tell it like it is, and it leads to somewhat of a success, I think.
It's interesting how some people, they just want to people please, and so they lie just to people please. And you're like, "Listen, I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you the bad news. And if you want to go to a different provider because, we didn't get the part right away and we're still getting the part, that's up to you. But we're going to do a damn good job. And I'm just going to be straight with you and tell you where we're at and update you proactively."
Totally the way to do it.
Wow. Very powerful. Not a lot of people have that integrity and that honesty. Where did you learn to be that way? If you were in a rock star, maybe on drugs or whatever it is that people were doing back then, which was totally normal, by the way.
That might have been what did it.
Where did you learn to be so honest and transparent? You're one of those guys that really has integrity and really keeps their word and shows up for other people. I saw you at Tina Larson's stand-up comedy thing. You showed up to her book launch. You really show up for people. Everywhere I go, when I see people, I see you showing up for people, and I see what you do for people. What makes you like that? The person that, not everyone's like that. A lot of people are selfish, and you're such a giving person. What makes you like that? What turned you into that?
I don't know. I was a Cub Scout when I was a kid. Maybe that was it. But no, the reality is, I think that, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The first check, so my first elevator company was called Vertec Elevator. I started it in 1993. and sold it to United Technologies in 2010. And the first check I ever wrote was like $200 or $300 to a charity. First check. So the way I've always looked at it is, if you're able to do something for someone and be there and give back, like that has always been a mantra of mine, and to do it. And I've just always stayed true to that as the best I can. Now, listen, I have a grandkid, so, I spend a little more time. I might miss one or two things, that I would not have missed. We send other people to some of these events, but I still show up a lot.
Yeah, you definitely show up a lot and you try to do your best. And I love that. I love that you share that way. Do you have any networking advice? You're like a savvy networker. You might not be methodical, strategic when you network, but you network a lot. You do a lot of dinners, you do a lot of lunches, you host a lot of events, you do golf outings. You're a methodical networker, and you know who to follow up with and how to follow up with people and reach out to people. What's your strategy for follow-up, especially with the industry of like facilities managers and building owners and resident managers and superintendents and the people that you need to meet? What's your method, your philosophy that people need to learn from?
Yeah, so no matter what, wherever I go, you always meet people. And listen, it's like I collect business cards. Now you could phone bump and all that other stuff. But what we do is the next day from any event I go to, it could be something not even related to elevators or anything, I always send a follow-up email that has all my company information, shows and tells about Champion Elevator, who we are, and I just put it out there. And I don't do hard selling. I'll follow up with people, I just keep it out there in the ether that, hey, there's an elevator guy that I met one time. It could be 2 years ago, it could be 3 years ago, it could be 5 years ago, or it could be 5 minutes ago. I just keep it where it's very, very soft sell. Like, I may do follow-ups 3-4 months down the road after I sent the initial one, and then resend that information, but updated with more elevators, with more employees, with, something, and just like, I am the opposite of a pushy salesman. It's very, very low aggression. I don't, I'm just like, listen, if you need an elevator guy, there's a pretty good guy with a pretty good company, period. I hate overselling and people that oversell. So, yeah.
I have a question for you. If you were to start over and do any business in the whole world, and you couldn't do the elevator business for whatever reason, what business would you do and why?
Oh, boy. So does it have to be successful, or might it crash and burn?
Might crash and burn. You can do whatever you want. You have an unlimited checkbook.
All right. So the music industry, I love that whole thing, but let's put that aside. So I went to a restaurant in Positano, Italy, that has been generational in the family, and it's on the side of a mountain, and they grow all the food there. They raise the animals there. Everything that they serve and do is only from their land, and it's all family. Like, if I could have an opportunity to take that over, recreate that, and do that with my family and have that life, I would do that in a minute. And I know nothing about the restaurant. As a matter of fact, my wife will tell you I'm probably the worst cook in America.
Really? The worst cook in America? That's a designation.
Well, she hasn't let me cook probably in 30-something years, because one night I said I was going to cook for her, and I had a wok. I had a big wok, and then I poured a can of choy into it, and it was like something out of a can, and she just wanted to shoot me. She's first generation Italian, amazing cook. So, I'm not going to touch her by any means of trying to compete with her in the cooking world, but that seems like that would be a great thing to do. If you could work with your family, please people, everybody's happy, and have a place like that, it would be amazing.
Amazing. So a restaurant with your family, make sure that you're not the one cooking. Make sure your wife's in charge of the recipes, not you. That's something that you would do. Very, very interesting.
I'd be a good maitre d', probably. Just say hello to people.
Yeah, say hello to people, make them feel comfortable, make sure that they come again, make sure that they're taken care of, all that stuff. Really, really powerful. There was a guy named Mark Fox, I think his name is. He's like, he has like an Irish accent. And did you meet him? He has a hospitality company with several restaurants on like 37th Street in Manhattan. Did you meet the guy?
No.
Very, very nice guy. I think it may be 36th Street. I think it was 36th Street in Manhattan. He has a place called the Parlor Room or whatever. We're trying to get him into execs. He was Mitch's guy. But he would be an interesting guy because he built all those restaurants himself. So it'd be interesting for you to kind of go there and check it out. I want to do an event at his place. He just became a client of EANYC. So that's that's interesting.
Very cool.
Do you have anything that you look for when you're bringing guests to the Executives Association? Are you typically looking for certain type of people? Because I noticed that you do bring quite a few guests to the association. Can you share your guest strategy?
Yeah, you know what it is? My client reach, or the people I deal with mostly, is, facility and building owners and property managers. So that's who I surround myself with on a work basis. But because I'm in other trades and other things, I know a lot of people overall. So I kind of just always look for who might be good for the group and who is a giver. Like if it's someone that's like a taker, nobody needs that in the group. Like someone that's just there to farm leads for themselves, they're not going to give back. We just took in a plumber that I've been friends with for a long time. He's a guy that will make introductions to people, and he's going to be great for the group. So because he's genuinely a giving person, so and that will help. And then good things happen when you give leads and do good for other people. Good things and good leads come back to you. People want to help people that are helping. Like it's just a style that you just have to kind of be born with, I think.
Yeah. Being a giver is not for everyone. Some people are matchers, some people are takers, but there's a disproportionate amount of givers in the room where people are sitting around and thinking about what they can do for other people. And that's very, very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a client. Thank you for being an amazing vendor and an amazing person that helps my clients and my friends and the people in my life. So I really, really appreciate who you are as a person and also in business. Is there any final words that you would like to share as we wrap up this interview?
No, just famous words of a friend of mine, George Subraj, who passed away a long time ago. He owns Zara Realty. Just do good and be good. That's the key to the whole thing. That little blurb. That's it.
That's beautiful. Thank you for being here. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way for people to connect with you, reach out to you, and learn more about your business?
Yeah, LinkedIn or the internet or, anywhere like that. I'm around. It's hard to miss me.
It's hard to miss. Just search Don Gelestino on LinkedIn or the internet. Find him, connect with him. Thank you so much, Don. Appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Joe.
Ready to expand your opportunities? If you enjoyed this interview and would like to know more and be part of us, join a trusted circle of New York City's top industry leaders. Apply to join EANYC today.